He had seen every kind of performance imaginable, but when this woman walked onto the stage carrying a rare neurological condition that allowed her to see into people's souls with frightening accuracy, Simon Cowell realized he was about to witness something that would redefine what it means to truly understand human nature. The America's Got Talent theater hummed with familiar energy, but tonight there was an undercurrent of psychological anticipation mixed with profound curiosity, as if the audience sensed they were about to experience something that challenged their understanding of human perception, social intuition, and the hidden aspects of personality that most people spend lifetimes trying to understand. Her name was Sarah Chen, 27 years old, walking confidently toward center stage despite carrying the weight of Williams syndrome, a genetic condition that had gifted her with extraordinary social hypersensitivity and an almost supernatural ability to read human character with instant, uncanny accuracy. In her presence, there was something that suggested she could see through the masks that people wore, straight into the authentic core of who they really were. Sarah had been born with Williams syndrome, a rare genetic disorder that affected approximately 1 in 10,000 people. While often associated with intellectual challenges, it had also given Sarah something extraordinary: an enhanced ability to read social cues and personality characteristics with precision that seemed to transcend normal human capability. Sarah represents one of the most fascinating cases of Williams syndrome we've encountered. Dr. Michael Rodriguez, her psychologist, had explained. Her condition creates a unique situation where she experiences extreme social trust and enhanced social perception simultaneously. She naturally wants to like everyone, but she can also see through deception with remarkable accuracy. During her teenage years, family members began noticing that Sarah's initial impressions of people were consistently accurate in ways that seemed impossible. Sarah would meet someone and immediately understand their personality, hidden motivations, capacity for kindness or cruelty, and emotional stability with precision that took others years to develop. When Sarah meets someone, she doesn't just see their outward behavior, she perceives their essential character immediately, Dr. Rodriguez had noted. Her Williams syndrome has enhanced her ability to process micro-expressions, vocal tones, and behavioral cues in ways that give her almost instantaneous access to people's authentic personalities. Sarah had initially been distressed by her character reading abilities, particularly because her Williams syndrome made her want to trust everyone, while her enhanced perception showed her that not all people were worthy of trust. But as she learned to understand her abilities, Sarah saw them as a gift that could protect both herself and others. Sarah's character reading had begun attracting attention from medical and security communities when her assessments were tested in controlled environments. Law enforcement was fascinated by her ability to identify deceptive behavior, while therapists were amazed by her capacity to diagnose personality disorders with remarkable speed. Sarah's abilities represent a new form of human lie detection and character assessment that surpasses technological methods. Dr. James Kim, a forensic psychologist, had observed. Her Williams syndrome has created natural capabilities for detecting deception, identifying dangerous personality patterns, and assessing emotional stability that could revolutionize security screening and psychological evaluation. But Sarah's most remarkable discovery was that her character reading abilities seemed to have protective effects, not just for herself, but for the communities where she shared her insights. When she identified potentially harmful individuals, her warnings often prevented manipulation, abuse, or other negative outcomes that those people might have caused. Sarah's character assessments help entire communities recognize and address potentially dangerous individuals before problems develop, explained Dr. Rodriguez. Her ability to identify emotional predators, manipulative personalities, and unstable individuals has prevented numerous situations where vulnerable people might have been harmed. Sarah had begun incorporating educational elements into her character reading practice, teaching people to recognize warning signs and positive indicators that could help them make better decisions about relationships, employment, and social connections. Her work showed that enhanced social perception could become a tool for creating safer, more trustworthy communities. This led Sarah to wonder whether her character reading abilities could reach larger audiences, whether her demonstration that Williams syndrome could enhance rather than impair social understanding could benefit people who had never considered how improved character assessment could transform personal and professional relationships. Dr. Wong had suggested that Sarah consider sharing her work on a larger platform to raise awareness about the hidden capabilities that could emerge from neurological differences and the ways that enhanced social perception could become a tool for creating more authentic, safer human connections. Sarah represents a new paradigm for understanding Williams syndrome and social cognition, Dr. Wong had argued. Her work could help people recognize that neurological differences can create extraordinary abilities rather than just challenges, and that enhanced character perception could revolutionize how we understand and protect ourselves within human relationships. Standing now backstage at AGT, Sarah felt the familiar assessment process beginning as her enhanced social perception automatically began cataloging the personality characteristics, emotional states, and character traits of everyone within her sensory range. Her Williams syndrome was already providing her with detailed information about the genuine nature of the people around her. Tonight, she would attempt to demonstrate that neurological differences could create extraordinary abilities that Williams syndrome could enhance rather than impair social understanding, and that the intersection of genetic difference and enhanced perception could reveal truths about human character that most people spent lifetimes trying to understand. She carried no notes or prepared material. Her entire performance would emerge from her real-time reading of the character traits and personality characteristics of randomly selected audience members, demonstrating that her enhanced social perception could reveal authentic aspects of human nature that people usually kept hidden. The audience's reaction was immediate curiosity mixed with nervous anticipation. Here was someone whose presence suggested she could see through the social masks that everyone wore, someone whose abilities might reveal aspects of themselves that they preferred to keep private. Simon leaned forward, sensing that Sarah's presence represented something more significant than typical talent demonstration, someone whose story would challenge assumptions about neurological differences, social perception, and the hidden aspects of human character that shaped all relationships. "Hello," Simon said gently, immediately noticing that Sarah seemed to be processing information about him that went far beyond his outward appearance. "My name is Sarah Chen," she began, her voice carrying the warmth and openness characteristic of Williams syndrome, combined with an underlying confidence that suggested extraordinary perceptual abilities. "I have Williams syndrome, which means I naturally want to trust and like everyone I meet. But my condition has also given me the ability to see people's true character with remarkable accuracy. Tonight, I want to demonstrate character reading, the ability to identify personality traits, emotional patterns, and authentic character qualities by observing subtle behavioral cues that most people process unconsciously. What you'll witness isn't magic or cold reading. It's enhanced social perception that my Williams syndrome has made possible." Simon felt something shift in his understanding of what he was about to witness. This wasn't going to be a performance about overcoming disability. This was someone who had discovered that neurological differences could create extraordinary capabilities for understanding human nature. "You're saying you can accurately assess people's character and personality just by observing them?" one of the judges asked with obvious fascination. Sarah nodded with quiet confidence. "My Williams syndrome has enhanced my ability to process microexpressions, vocal patterns, body language, and subtle behavioral indicators that reveal authentic personality characteristics. I can identify traits like empathy levels, emotional stability, capacity for deception, trustworthiness, and underlying motivations with remarkable accuracy. Most people have instincts about character assessment, but my condition has amplified those abilities far beyond normal range. What you're about to see is your authentic character traits identified through enhanced social perception that neurological differences have made possible. Sarah positioned herself at center stage and requested that several audience members be randomly selected for character assessment. Without any previous interaction or background information, she would demonstrate her ability to identify personality characteristics that the individuals themselves might not consciously recognize. The first volunteer was brought onto the stage, a middle-aged man who had been selected entirely at random from the audience. Sarah spent approximately 30 seconds observing his posture, facial expressions, vocal patterns, and subtle behavioral cues before beginning her assessment. "I'm observing someone who has natural leadership abilities but struggles with perfectionism that sometimes prevents him from taking risks," Sarah said, looking directly at the volunteer. "You have strong empathy for others, particularly people who are struggling, but you tend to take on responsibility for problems that aren't yours to solve." The volunteer's expression changed immediately to one of shocked recognition. "You've experienced significant loss in your life, probably within the last 5 years, that has made you more compassionate but also more cautious about forming deep emotional connections. You work in a helping profession, possibly education or healthcare, and people often come to you for advice because they sense your genuine care for others." The audience was completely silent as Sarah continued her character assessment, identifying specific personality traits and life experiences with uncanny accuracy. "Your greatest strength is your ability to see potential in people that they don't see in themselves. Your greatest challenge is learning to apply that same compassion and encouragement to yourself, rather than maintaining standards for your own performance that you would never expect from others." The volunteer confirmed that every aspect of Sarah's assessment was remarkably accurate, including details about his profession as a teacher, recent loss of his spouse, and his tendency toward self-criticism that he had never discussed publicly. Sarah continued with additional volunteers, demonstrating her ability to identify personality patterns, emotional characteristics, and authentic character traits with consistency that seemed impossible without extended observation or background information. "What you're witnessing," Simon explained to the audience, "is enhanced social perception that Sarah's Williams syndrome has made possible. She's not guessing or using psychological tricks. She's reading character information that most of us process unconsciously, but can't access directly." With each demonstration, Sarah's character assessments proved remarkably accurate, revealing personality traits, emotional patterns, and authentic characteristics that the volunteers confirmed as true, but had never shared with strangers. When Sarah completed her character reading demonstration, the theater remained in profound silence as the audience processed not just the accuracy of what they had witnessed, but the implications of someone having such enhanced access to authentic human character. Then applause began, not usual entertainment appreciation, but the kind of recognition that follows genuine revelation about human capability, acknowledgement of having witnessed abilities that challenge conventional understanding of social perception and character assessment. Simon stood up from the judges' table, understanding that Sarah had demonstrated something far more significant than unusual talent. She had proven that neurological differences could create extraordinary abilities, that Williams syndrome could enhance rather than impair social understanding, and that enhanced character perception could reveal truths about human nature that most people struggled to access. "Sarah," Simon said as he walked onto the stage, "what you've just shared challenges everything I thought I knew about character assessment, social perception, and the capabilities that can emerge from neurological differences. You haven't just demonstrated unusual abilities, you've shown us that your Williams syndrome has given you access to aspects of human character that most of us can only guess about. You've proven that what might be considered a disability can actually be the source of extraordinary gifts." Sarah nodded with the warmth and genuineness characteristic of her condition. "I learned that my Williams syndrome wasn't just about trusting people too much. It was about being able to see who actually deserves trust and who might use kindness against you. My condition taught me that loving people means recognizing both their authentic goodness and their potential for harm. As the golden buzzer activated and confetti fell, Simon said, "Sarah, you've proven that the most valuable insights into human character sometimes come from those whose neurological differences allow them to see truths that the rest of us miss. And that extraordinary perception can become a gift that protects and enlightens entire communities." 6 months later, Sarah established the Character Assessment Institute, teaching people to recognize behavioral indicators that could help them make better decisions about relationships, employment, and social connections. Her techniques proved valuable for security professionals, therapists, and anyone seeking to develop better judgment about human character. Sarah's work attracted attention from both psychological and security communities. Law enforcement agencies began incorporating her character assessment methods into training programs, while therapy centers explored the implications of her demonstration that enhanced social perception could improve both personal safety and relationship satisfaction. Sarah revolutionized how we think about Williams syndrome and social cognition, explained Dr. Rodriguez. She proved that neurological differences could enhance rather than impair social understanding, opening entirely new approaches to character assessment and personal safety. Years later, Sarah's character reading abilities had evolved into increasingly sophisticated forms, suggesting that her Williams syndrome continued to enhance her social perception capabilities as her understanding of human behavior deepened. The human detector who could see souls had demonstrated that Williams syndrome could create extraordinary social perception rather than just vulnerability, that neurological differences could enhance understanding of human character, and that profound insights into authentic human nature might emerge from enhanced sensitivity that allowed seeing through masks everyone else accepted as reality.